Hello and welcome everybody to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We got Miss Tasha, Hive founding member.
Yes, it's so true.
Hannah is on her way in. Thank you everybody for joining us. It was actually this episode did not disappoint. So before we go into all of the craziness and we're going to talk about everything because there was just so much to talk about, we just want to remind you, if this is your first time watching us, click like and subscribe to our page. Click to receive our notifications. We do our recaps on The Bachelorette every Tuesday 10 minutes after the show. And also follow us on our IG and our Twitter accounts, all of them below. Also, a great way to support us is to super chat, and that makes us see your notifications and your comments so that we can mention you. And we know that there's going to be a lot of comments today because it was a juicy AF show. I'm going to try not to show my excitement through my vocabulary, because then we get flagged for all of the profanity that we use.
Well, calm down then, Jess. It's
really so I'm going to say I'm excited AF. Yes, because today was such a great one. How you doing, Kemi girl? Actually, I want to say before we start and Hannah comes on, we want to say that you were very missed last week. Everybody was asking about you. Please, while Hannah comes on, tell us how last week was, and please let everybody know that you're not planning on leaving the show because they were all speculating why you hadn't been on it.
Oh, no, I'm not leaving the show. I went on vacation. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
You look gorgeous.
Gorge.
Oh, so do you guys. Oh, my goodness.
So I went on vacation. I went to Mexico with about 4 other girls. We just spent a week in Mexico. We had a great time. I haven't been on a girls trip in probably 4 years. And I haven't been on a vacation since before I went to my, haunted house sleepaway camp last year. So I just...
Is that what we're calling it?
That's the only name that I can give. That's the only way I can describe it. But yeah, it was literally so amazing. Can I just say, I'm someone who has insane control issues. I have to be in control of situations. And we did a sound healing with some local sound healers. And it was the most tranquil I've felt in my entire life. I really had to give up control because they cover your eyes and then you're just completely vulnerable. They're making all these sounds. And at first my body was so tense. I'm okay, I just want to peek out and see what's going on. I just have to see. And then I was okay, let me just, let me be present and remain in the moment. And it was so nice.
Well, it shows, girl, because look, everybody's saying Kemi's looking refreshed.
Thank you.
Kemi is glowing. But, Sarita, thank you so much because they say all 3 of y'all look so good. Thank you. I think it happens to be the fact that it was such a great episode. Shall we talk? Again, with the secondhand embarrassment. Hannah, I think can we hear you? No, we cannot hear you. I think that your mic is off, but
can you hear
me?
Yes.
You can hear me now? Okay, cool. This was a train wreck and I loved it, but yes. I also felt very uncomfortable in many moments for lots of different reasons. And I am going to throw it out there. I don't think Claire is a good bachelorette. Put it lightly.
Not at all. She's terrible. Look at the elephant in the room. let's bring it to the forefront. There was definitely some pre-gaming. Okay, so she definitely pre-gamed with Dale. It was so obvious. Like,
there had to have been. Like, it makes no sense.
The limo, when he came out of the limo, like, okay, yes, I have seen guys in person and been like, okay, oh my God, my ovaries are like doing backflips right now. But not like that. Like, she was acting like the only way you act when like you have butterflies, and you don't get butterflies from looks. You get butterflies from interactions with someone.
I don't know about that. I've had some major butterflies from looks.
Okay, Steve.
Very much so.
We understand Steve's missed, but in the situation, maybe it's because, okay, sure, maybe there was no pre-gaming. Maybe she came out of quarantine and like she was just so excited to see. I mean, Dale's sexy. Like, he looks good. So maybe that's what it was. But I think she definitely, like, I shouldn't call it pre-gaming. She definitely pre-loved. I don't know.
Here's the thing that I don't get, because like when you look into it and like know like what day they're actually on, like we know that Claire's season in entirety is like 11 days. So they're at like day like 6 or 7 at this point. Like, there's just nothing, you don't know anything about a person enough to be that infatuated with them. Like, maybe if you were like spending all day, every day, and all night with somebody for 6 or 7 days, but like you're getting like 40 minutes, which is like more than what everyone else is getting. You're getting like 40-minute increments, like maybe once a day. That is just like, that's just not enough to know if you like somebody or not. It's literally just lust. Like, I wish that like the producers, when she's saying all this, could sit down and be like, well, what do you like about him that doesn't have anything to do with like how he talks to you? Like, what do you like about him as a person and his personality?
I want to touch upon this. Maxim Chris says, Swaggy married Bailey in 2 weeks of knowing her. And I kind of want to make the difference in saying that I agree with Hannah, because this Swaggy married Bailey, they were together 24/7 in a house
all day,
zero distraction
every day. Yes,
and zero. And what you do in Big Brother is eat and talk.
And there are no like here. Production is like in front of your face. Cameramen are around. People are asking you questions. You have that interaction with other people. Like in that house, in the Big Brother house, there is 0 people other than the house guests. Like you're not seeing crew members. You're not seeing other people. It's literally how you can be that connected to someone within like 3 days.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they still had a chance, you know, like Swaggy wasn't in jury, Bailey was. They still had all of that time to like think about it and be like, do I really feel this way? Or is it just lust? And I think that's like a difference too, is like they weren't physically with each other and they obviously still felt that way when they got out. And so it wasn't just lust. Like you obviously had a mental and emotional connection with them too, because they weren't together for like over a month while Bailey was in jury. So like, I think they had a lot more time to like process all of that. And it wasn't just like, oh, we can go and, you know, make out in a room by ourselves for like 10 minutes. Like that's so weird.
It's like in a Big Brother house when it's 24/7, when you think about it, I think we did the math at one point, right, Kemi? It's like if you are with someone or in the house, they've made the math. It's something like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even if you're not together for the full 24 hours, that's still the equivalent of knowing each other 1 week. It equivocates like a month or something. Like for every
with like the amount of time that you're physically with them versus like, you know, if you were in the outside world, you might go on like 1 or 2, like 2 or 3 hour dates a week. And so I get it. Anyways, not Big Brother related. Let's just go through the series of events that unfolded tonight.
Yeah. But I also just wanted to say, like, I am not against whirlwind romances. Like, I think that they are, like, I love that. Like, I'm the type of person that, like, if I know, like, when I know, I know. So I completely get it. I just think that, you know, just like in the current season of Big Brother, I like to know when there's pre-gaming. Like, just put it all out there. Like, there's no reason to deceive people, because if you make people fill in the blanks themselves, then they can just run in. Like they can just run with whatever. So
this is a clear, I agree with you. It's a clear like production meddling. I feel that they're not giving, someone's either pissed off at Claire, because I don't really believe this is everything that's going on, but for whatever reason that she decided she didn't want to go through or keep going through or not fake the funk, like editing is not doing her any justice.
Oh no, it's not doing her any favors. And that's why I'm like, I don't think, okay, think about it from a production standpoint. They did not want Claire to blow this up and then have to scramble to find somebody. Potentially, we don't even know how this goes, scramble to find more men in the middle of a pandemic. Like, they barely got this show off the ground in the first place. Like, I really think this is all, like, the majority of it on her. Because, like, why would production want to have to deal with all that mess? Like, because people were, like, saying on Twitter, you know, that Dale, you know, production was there, like, telling him to go do this or whatever. I feel like once production realized that she's only interested in him, they would not be trying to continue to push just that. Like, they would try to push other people to her. But I don't know.
I agree. I mean, like, but Claire's entire brand is that she does what she, oh my God, I didn't mean to make that seem so like sassy, but she does what she wants. She, you know, everyone else be damned, you know, that is her brand. Like, she is coming out, like, she's probably going to start marketing, you know, Pampers or something on Instagram for how tough she is or whatever. And there's only so much production can do, you know, like, they can tell her to do one thing and she will be like just the type of person she is. And I love this about her. Like, she's very set in her ways, whatever. Like, even when the one guy tried to pull her for a date or for like time at the beginning, and she was like, oh, actually, no, I'm going to take him.
Yeah, I like that. Yes.
Yeah, but like, I think that's a testament to who she is. Like, I think a lot of other bachelorettes would have been like, okay, but Blake, I do want to get my time with you, but yes, we can talk right now. They wouldn't have been like, sorry, no, Blake, come on. Like, which I do like that, but I think her being like that shows you how she probably is with production too. Like,
yes,
sorry.
I think like there's parts of it that I like. Like, there's parts of her that I feel like on paper are really good for a bachelorette. Like, I like that. I don't like her in certain situations not giving people a chance to talk, when I think that this is a very just like weird experience in general. And sometimes people are not, you know, just the most apt to open up immediately. I don't like her like cutting people off when they say like one thing that she doesn't like and not giving them a chance to, you know, explain, or just like not giving people a chance to talk at all. Like, there's parts of it that I like and there's parts of it that I don't, and that's with anybody. It's a mixed bag, but it's leaning a lot more on one side for me than the other.
You can tell she's tired. Like, I mean, and again, being the fact that people are like always talking about that she's pushing 40 and all of this stuff, like, it's like she literally is reclaiming her time. She doesn't care. She wants what she wants. She's unapologetically herself. She's not going to apologize in any which way. I feel like she's been around the block with Bachelor Nation in general. This is like her first time in, so she knows the ins and the outs. She probably feels like she has a ton of seniority in that end, you know, or maybe she knows how to maneuver or talk to certain people where she feels that like comfortable enough to go through that. But let's just, like you said, Claire, I mean, because this is Hannah Claire. Let's talk Hannah Claire.
Oh God.
Hannah Claire. Let's talk about the very, very beginning, because it started off really nice and juicy with Yosef. And this was like the bam. I mean, we got a lot of different perspectives on this, I think.
Yes.
So
to be fair, I got the beginning of this. We've been watching it on YouTube TV, and we've just been doing like free trials to watch it because we don't have cable. And it cut out like in the middle of the Yosef situation. So I saw the buildup of the Yosef situation. I saw him talking to the guys and, you know, doing the whole, I didn't like this. I thought it was disrespectful. And then I saw one of the guys asking him, okay, well, are you going to say this to her, or are you just going to talk about it with us? And he was like, no, I'm going to say it to her. And then he literally, as he gets up and starts walking to go talk to her, our thing cuts out. And so y'all are going to, I know, I was like, of course. So y'all are going to have to carry on that part and tell me kind of what happens, but I know it wasn't good because he wasn't there.
Yeah, you could tell Yosef was definitely not having it. It was just like, you know, you could tell that this is a make or break situation for him. At no point does it even, and correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, look like he wants to salvage a situation. He's definitely, he came off to me personally, comes off as a very macho, misogynistic type of man. That's just the vibes that I got from it. But he did go into it specifically talking to her about what he didn't like. The fact that she was an older bachelorette, that he thought that she had more taste than that. I mean, at one point it started good, and then it went from that in expressing his thoughts to calling her tasteless and calling her all sorts of other names, and basically
she would be an unfit mother.
And saying that she would be an unfit mother. And we didn't see the whole thing, but she did say that because she was going to talk, and then he was like, no, you're not going to cut me off. And she's like, I heard you talking for 20 minutes. So you could tell that this was a discussion that was going on for a very long time. She was listening to his concerns and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think that what he was saying, part of what he was saying had some merit. I think I think he's like 34. If I'm 34 and I'm coming on to The Bachelor with someone who is like, what is Claire, 39? I'm coming on as someone who's 39. I wouldn't have it in my mind. Like, I would think that this would be a more mature season where we aren't playing these sort of childish games, like stripping down to our underwear. Like you've seen in other, I would think they would take it back to classic Bachelorette seasons. So I would be very annoyed with that. That being said, he, first of all, wasn't even on the date. So like, calm down. But then also it's like, we're still making a TV show, and not to break the fourth wall, but this is a television show in 2020. As TV progresses, it only gets more and more scandalous, more and more salacious, more and more like, what's the more exciting thing they're going to do next? And I think everyone understands that. I think that he should have probably understood that she's not sitting down in her producer's chair writing in all of the details of these dates and how they're going to go. Like, give her a little bit of grace. Like, production probably did this. Whether or not she's the one who said, like, actually, let's make this a strip, whatever, they probably pitched the idea to her and she was like, oh, cool. And like, yeah, she could have said no, but it's also it's also a TV show. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
I do think that he started off the conversation airing his grievances, which I agree with. If you feel that way, you have the right to say what you need to say. He definitely took it too far. Like,
what did he say?
He said that she would be an unfit mother for his daughter, which the first part of that, he said, if I was on the date, which you weren't, if I was on the date, I wouldn't want my daughter to see my ass cheeks on TV, or my butt cheeks. Oh my God, see my butt cheeks on TV, and like, you know, see me later on TV playing dodgeball, which is valid. I completely understand that.
Wow.
Then he went on to say that because she allowed and like whatever that she would be an unfit mother, and that's why she's 40 and like single and The Bachelorette and like all this stuff. And it's like, had me.
Okay, but we did see this. So this was on Twitter. What is this? Can your daughter not?
I definitely have that for those who want to see. We shall share. So this is what we have. So Mr. Yosef said he would never strip down to his underwear because that's classless. But also Yosef, he is now promoting underwear on Instagram,
which is fine. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with promoting that. However, it just seems a little hypocritical, and I totally agree with you, Kimmy. Like I get both sides of it. Like you might, be 34 years old and not feel comfortable doing that and not feel like it's appropriate for that to be going on. And Claire might think that, it's just all fun and games and it is what it is. And that's fine. But him saying that like she's an unfit mother, like first of all, she's not anybody's mother. So like she doesn't really have to be like anything for your child. Like she's not your child's mother. That's weird to say that in the first place. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, we see like he says, okay, as being the oldest and most mature, this was raunchy and it was classless and it was distasteful. And then he goes to say that he sacrificed a lot to be on the show. He has a daughter, which makes sense. He's not with his daughter. So he wants to make sure that he is, he found it to be humiliating and degrading, which at some point, like she said, but that's why you weren't on the date. So yeah. you kind of see that obviously these guys know that this is going to happen on this date. You either say, yes, I'm comfortable with it, or no, I am not comfortable with it. She's just not randomly saying, hey guys, take everything off.
Or she considered the fact that this man had a daughter, and she considered the personality that he has and might not be okay with it, and that's why she didn't include him on the date. So,
which is, a possibility.
Consider it, yeah.
Absolutely. And so, we also asked a few of our fans on our page in regard to whether or not they side with either Claire or Joseph. And this was on our GLATD on Twitter. And it was a poll. And it looks like it was 68% were for Claire and 32% for Joseph, which I am like, wow, guys. I
need to see the breakdown of men to women, because I know that 32%, the men is probably somewhere around 80%.
I think that like people are letting their biases of like other things that they don't like about Claire go into that, which I get. Like there's plenty of stuff there's plenty of things to have grievances about, like with her, with like the way that things have gone so far. But like from the way you're saying it, I don't really know how you can come out of that conversation and be like, yeah, Claire was the wrong one on that.
Well, here you say Black Widow Brigade for Life says, think about it if the roles were reversed. Joseph said too much, but his point was valid. And yes, the points were valid, but there you go. He took it to
You don't scream at people like that. Like, you don't scream at people like that no matter what.
Not only that, but like, no offense, Black Widows Brigade, but the whole role reverse argument is my biggest pet peeve, because society does not treat men and women equally. So you can't just reverse the roles and start saying like, meninism this, meninism that. Like, you cannot do that, because men and women are not treated equally. So you can't just reverse the roles and, say whatever.
And Hannah and I did discuss this in last week's episode. Like, this does happen. The roles do get reversed, and this does happen to the women on the Bachelor seasons. They are
in different ways. And like, it's different. I've come to the conclusion over the past week that I think both people are valid. Like, it is totally fine to be 40 years old and be very comfortable in your sexuality and be like wanting to see all these guys that are fawning over you running around in their underwear. It is also equally okay to not be comfortable with that and express that and have it be respected. it's fine. Both of those things are fine. What's not fine is to scream at someone and tell them that they would be an unfit mother for somebody who's not their child in the first place, which is just so weird. It's like you're looking for, somebody said that earlier, it's like you're looking for a babysitter. Like, just go on care.com. You didn't even have to go through all of this if that's just what you wanted.
Exactly. And especially in the way that he berated her and like literally said, she's all yours, guys. Like, you know, the fact that he brought up her age and said all of these other things. It's like, was this necessary? Was this because what you did was just show exactly how you
like the way he was yelling, saying like, oh, you know, first he started off saying this isn't a good example for my daughter.
Was that?
If we want to get into it, do you want your daughter to be treated the way that you're treating Claire? How would you feel, Yosef, if someone was yelling at your daughter the way that you're yelling at Claire? Oh, okay. Silence? Are those crickets? Oh, okay. True.
Yeah.
It was just a mess.
Oh, yeah. That it upset me. I'm not gonna lie, it got me a little heated. I maybe wanted to throw something at the TV at that point because I was just like, oh no, hell, he needs to get the out. Like,
Joseph was my winner pick if I was like a casual.
Yeah, see, Hannah, I did tell you. We were talking about this last week, and I was like, was it you, Hannah, that liked Yosef? And it was no. It was Kelly.
Yeah, like he was my winner pick if I wasn't spoiled and on Reddit 24/7.
I like Easy, and I think
so funny.
I love him. He has such good energy, and he's so cute, and just not like. Okay, honestly, that's another thing to talk about. She has some really interesting guys, like some really cool guys, and I feel like we know nothing about them. Like,
I know, and
that's a shame.
Well, maybe this is a good thing if, in case they stay for Tayshia.
They better not.
They better not. But I just want to give a big shout out to Miss History, our girl Miss History, giving us the big super chat. Thank you for the $50. And she says, I can't get into competitive coupling, but I'm into y'all. I may never watch Bachelor or Bachelorette, but girl, I'm never missing my fave trio. So Kemi, when is your season and when will it be televised? I don't know.
That's actually why she was in Mexico last week. She did a speed version of The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
I would be a horrible Bachelorette because I honestly, and I have that self-awareness, I would be just like Claire. I would scope them out and see like one or two guys that I liked off the bat and be tunnel vision. But I know that's how I am. So I know I shouldn't be the Bachelorette. Maybe I should.
I don't think I'd be like that at all. I think I'd like want to like just let it. I'd want to like experience it as long as I could.
You
and just
move out with everyone. Gotta test it out.
That's the whole point of the show. But also, I'm 22. Huh?
Is Obi watching this?
Oh yeah, he's watching the show. He's not. I don't know if he's watching this, but anyways,
hi Obi.
He already knows that my dream, if we were not together, would be to go on The Bachelor. I just watched this show for so long that like I just love the show. But
Hannah was ready to be the Bachelorette a long time ago.
She was ready to make out with Colton.
No, not Colton. Let's not even go there.
You know, so let's get off Yosef, right? Because Yosef wasn't even like the most, it was entertaining and obviously very heated. And we all are listening to your comments down here because some people also didn't like the fact that Claire was invading his space and like putting her fingers in his face and all of this stuff. And I just want to say it's not easy being confronted. And again, I think that she was listening. She said she had been listening to him for 20 minutes. We didn't get 20 minutes of conversation. So we don't know exactly what was said, absolutely everything that was said. So I'll just, say that. But what I do want to bring up is, as we were talking about the other men in the season who are so great, because I have a few of my favorites, and I know that y'all were talking about yours, because I kind of love Riley, and I love Damar, who is the spinning class instructor, and Jordan, the cute little. There's so many. they're just like so many of these. And I think that what they were upset with, and they look like they were taking Claire's side on this. That's the thing. They knew that that Yosef has been disrespectful in the past, and also that this is they mentioned it, that this is the second time that he has taken away from them getting their individual time with, I mean, that's not the only person, obviously, we'll keep on talking about that, but they all get dates. So now we're on to the group dates, that poor thing that never happened, because I don't know about, did you guys see a group date?
No, isn't this the one that she was like, you know, they were sitting there waiting for like 3 hours, and then she was like, you know, she was talking to Deanna, who was a Bachelorette a long time ago, and she was sitting there talking to her and smelling Dale's pants like a 6th grader, and then she goes to them. This just like made me so angry because I hate my time being wasted. And she literally like could have just told them like, hey, just have a chill day, go swim, do whatever you want to do. We're not going to do this today. We're just going to wait till tonight. And they were just sitting there. Like, that's just so rude and inconsiderate. That's another thing of her that I just don't like. It's like it's kind of, you know, not to quote Yosef, but like they are also there. They're there for her, but she's also there for them. And I feel like you have a duty as the lead to like at least be respectful on your end too.
Respect the process, like she told Matt James to do preseason.
Oh Lord.
I feel like there is a lot of hypocrisy here, right? All around, not just with Claire, because we do know that she's doing it, but with some of the men on the show as well. And yeah, that's one of those things. I just want to discuss this before we get off topic a little bit, but Claire had Dale's pants. What was that about? 46 and smelling his pants. Like, he's a size 46?
I don't know what that means
Isn't that right?
I was like, is that length or width? Like, I don't know.
I mean, my husband's like 6'3", and he's a 36 length. So, and he's a 30.
So Dale's tall.
So what does this mean? How tall is this guy? How are you a 46? And 46 waist? That's pretty big. That's like,
it's waist size. Okay.
No, well, my husband is a 34 waist size. He's a 34.
I don't know what it means. I don't know. All I can do is girl numbers. I need 4, 6, 8. Like, that's what I need.
I needed to look this up. I was like, wait, what does this mean? What does 46 mean? But I don't even care about that. I care at the fact that she was sniffing them. And that
was weird.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Remember in the movie White Chicks when the guy like was sniffing the panties? I never know if like guys actually do that, but for Claire to be basically sniffing Dale's panties, I was just like, and with her friend, it's like, ooh, take a whiff of Dale's panties. Like, ugh.
So strange, and I definitely wouldn't do that while I'm being filmed.
Men are like the cleanest, you know. Men are definitely not the cleanest. No. I wouldn't put it past him to like fold those pants up after a long day at Walmart and then shove them in the back of his dresser, and then 2 weeks later wear them again, shove them back in there, pull them back in, sniff them himself, say they got another day in them. And now he's wearing them on The Bachelor on their third wear. And here Claire is sniffing them. Like,
I hated that.
So Brianna said, like, why does she have his pants? She said that she kept them after he took them off. She asked if she could keep them.
Is that not so, like, have you guys watched You on Netflix? The one with Ken Baxley? I feel like that is so like him, and he has the box of like the phone and the panties and the, you know, just all like the memorabilia box. Like, it gave me very weird vibes, and I'm not trying to read into it too much, but I was like, this is weird.
I don't want to read into it too, but I just had to say it because that was just so odd. And the fact that what she said, like that she said it in front of the cameras, like she didn't think that was gonna come on the show, that was just especially taken out of context. I don't understand it. That was definitely weird. But and
Anyway,
the funny thing is that Deanna did not think that was weird either. Like, she didn't look at her like, oh yeah, why the hell do you have that? This is so awkward. It was just natural. So I guess that's supernatural. They go on this, like, so we have this group date. The group date doesn't happen. She says she's gonna get ready, do what they want for the morning or whatever, however much time that they lost, and that she would get ready. And then Dale just like pops.
Well, and her reasoning for that was, she was like, you know what? I don't want to have a long, day date today. I just want to have enough time tonight and have a long date tonight, a cocktail party, so that I can talk to every single one of you. And then that doesn't even happen. That's still not what happens.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is on all levels. And this is what I'm talking about, is like, you say you don't want to do this group date. You want to get to know them individually. But now Dale has like the cojones to like say, I need to talk to her first, grab her, and then go missing for an hour,
And he says it's going to be 5 minutes, which is so, I was just like, okay, well, we already know that's not how this is going to go. But also, like, I think there is, if you want to have the one-on-one times with them, it is what it is. Like, if that were actually what you were doing, that'd be different. But I do think there's something to be said for, like, the group dates are normally just like fun. And I feel like you learn a lot about people when they're in like a group with other people, and you see how they interact with other men, like the other guys there, and you learn a lot about them, and you can like just have fun. Like, the show is supposed to be fun. And I feel like these guys have just spent this whole time just sitting there on these couches. Like, that's it.
Yeah, which is probably why it's just so sad to see, because by the way Claire is treating everything, that she's just so over it. You get those vibes already.
Yeah.
She's making out with Dale for like a good 40 minutes or whatever. And then poor Easy like knocks, and he's like the one guy that is brave enough to go and try to find them, and kind of walks in on such awkwardness. This is very awkward. Very, very awkward.
And she tells him to hide. She tells Dale to hide. I was like, I feel like I'm watching
Hannah, oh my God. Your country just like jumped out.
It probably did.
It was
hard not to when I'm this worked up. But.
Yeah, I mean, and it for valid reason. This is actually definitely something to work yourself up over, knowing that there are really great guys that want their time with her, and some really great deserving guys too. So now everybody's like scrambling because Dale took 45 minutes of her time. And so people are scrambling to get their one-on-one time. And then Dale has the cojones to come back in a second time.
Because he says he got
we don't know.
No, but you guys, honestly, he was coming back from the restroom, and he was just wandering around. And it's a big, villa.
Girl, he was full of it when he was trying to make that excuse to the guys. Like, he didn't know what the hell was going on. Who here in the comments, please tell us if you're
of my king Dale. Like, you guys don't play him like that.
I mean, sure. But I think the problem here is that he happened to stumble across the room. But she was talking to someone, and then she said, do you want to come in? So she invited him. Like, the audacity, like, that's where the disrespect comes in. And it's like, Claire, mamacita, you have like about 10 other dudes that want to talk to you. That's just disrespectful.
She does not care. Like, she doesn't care. And she's not even good at like pretending to hide it, like, at all. it was just so like, and Dale too. Like Dale is like, he couldn't even like with a straight face be like, yeah, I got lost. He was like, I'm sorry. Like it's just so weird. Like it's so messy, and I feel like I'm watching like a high school couple who is just like obsessed with each other after a week.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Miss Ginda says she's clearly not respecting everyone's feelings, but at the same time, she's being real and raw about how she feels. She's just not able to hide her emotions well enough. I'm not quite sure. I mean, like, I understand it's all about like being true to your feelings, but at the same time, as she mentioned before, respect the process. If you're going to get someone out because you're telling everybody to respect the process, and then yet you're talking about how you like people who don't follow the rules, because she also said that in a way, didn't she? She said something like that she likes it when people
like
you're kind of
she don't make any sense with anything that she says.
You know,
there are people who like drama in relationships, and I think Claire is that. Like, you know, I'm sure we all have that friend. For a lot of people, I used to be that friend who like they think it's exciting when like a guy gets a little jealous of another guy, or like they think it's like thrilling when like a guy shows how much they like her or him by like doing something really dramatic. Like they just like that drama filled relationship. Like they like that excitement in relationships because they think that that's how people show that they care. And they don't always accept that, you know, someone can be loving without being like, or a relationship can be loving without it being like drama. And I feel like Claire's like that. Like she likes the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, yeah. But at the same time, she's not very cognizant of other people's feelings. And that's one of the things that I feel in this show, at least, there is a formula for a reason. And yes, it's good TV that she's doing all of this, even though it looks very awkward and you're getting that secondhand embarrassment. And it's just like, ooh, this is very cringe. I don't know if this is exactly what the Bachelorette is used to seeing, this type of cringe, you know? But at the same
I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Jess. Look at the caption.
What?
You rang?
Oh, wow.
I have the post notifications turned on. But yes.
Also, can we talk about how amazing she looks in that picture? Like, oh my God. We're talking about Tayshia, just in case anybody is just listening to the audio of this. Like, Tayshia just uploaded a picture and looking amazing. And the caption says, you rang. So
we're so ready to have her pop up in the next, episode.
The way she came out that water. Oh my God. I am obsessed. Like I have been like hitting up our mutual friends trying to see if I can like start a friendship. Like I'm so obsessed with her. I can't even like.
I was very confused when she said that she was starting her own podcast too for the season. So does anybody know if that happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's actively doing it with Ben Higgins and I think Hannah from Peter's season. Hannah Ann.
Yeah, that's I think was a good like little fake out maybe in trying to figure out whether or not she's going to be the next Bachelorette. However, going back to mess of a thing, because we didn't even finish. We honestly didn't even finish. We didn't talk about her one-on-one date with Zach and the mess that this was, because
this date, I just want to preface and say that I think there is a lot of gray area in this date and with like the whole situation that happened. And there's a lot to discuss. So anyways, it starts out, they're getting a pedicure. Claire's already zoned out. She's like, I wish Dale was here. It didn't start out well.
She's messing with Zach, like, let's go on a girls' night. Let's just pamper ourselves. Like,
And I literally think she just wants somebody to get a pedicure with and talk about Dale. But like she has to go on these dates, so she's like, well, I guess I'll just take you with me. Like
that's exactly the vibe. Absolutely. It was like very weird. And she says it's very weird energy, right? She says
you are the weird energy. Like you, Claire, are the one giving the weird energy because she is like not giving anything to this. Like, anyways.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we want to thank, look, Miss Querida Linton. Thank you for your super chat and hearts, like 3 hearts for us. Yay, we love you. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. But yeah, going back to this Zach mess. First of all, it was an absolute utter chaotic mess. I think that she tried for whatever she could, I guess.
Like he had a really nice body. He was giving dad bod.
Was he? I didn't even pay attention to the dad.
I've been a crazy for a while, so yes, he's.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. She says, "Okay, this." She said it was great, and then it became like this type of weird energy. When she maybe was like, oh, this wouldn't happen if Dale was here. Like, I wouldn't have this weird energy. So she's like comparing like her time with this guy, obviously. Then she goes and she says, let's get ready for dinner. She goes in to give him a kiss. And then there's just like this weird, awkward pause. I personally didn't see him like pull away, but she said she pulled.
I didn't see him pull away. I think that she leaned in. So like, this is him. She leans into him to like hear. And I guess she like expected him to go the rest of the way. But also like, if I were him, I feel like I'd just be still. Like I would think that she was like coming to me.
Yeah.
And so it was weird. I don't think he pulled away at all. However, what people are like having a lot of controversy about is what happens after. And so to me, what I saw when I watched it was she goes in to kiss him. He doesn't give her the reaction that she wants. And so she thinks that like he pulls away from her and is not into it. He tries to essentially be like, oh, no. Like I was into it. And it becomes this weird thing. Like the communication is just very off. And then you see him kind of like grab her like neck to like bring her back in to kiss her. And this is where people have like different opinions on that. So to me, when I watched it, interpreted it as, you know, that like she was trying to kiss him and saw that like he thought he wasn't into it and he's trying to show her that he actually was. There are people that think that like he, you know, was too handsy with her in that moment, whatever. It all happened really fast. And, you know, I don't know if she felt uncomfortable with that. That's totally valid. I felt like it was just very bad communication and that he felt like he was just trying to like damage control and show that he was actually into her. And she felt that it just is very gray area. I think people interpreted it in different ways and it was just bad communication completely.
I also think that like, you know, he has a split second to make a decision on what to do. And like, I don't think that, I mean, I don't even know how to put it. Like, I don't think his intentions were like malicious or to be like too handsy or like too anything. Like I think that he can read the room and see that she's a very snap judgment type of person, and he was like scrambling to try to fix it and it just wasn't gonna happen.
I
saw it.
It was so uncomfortable. And I agree. I mean, I think there were like 2 times that he tried to kind of like grab her and kiss her. And I, you know, after the first one, I think that as she's walking away, maybe you're just like, hey, can we just sit down and talk about this instead? Like maybe not then continue to try to grab her. It was just so bad. And like, she was not communicating well. Neither really was he. I think he was just so taken aback by all of it. I don't really know. It was so uncomfortable to watch. And I felt like it was so strange. What do you think, Jessica?
Absolutely. I agree with both of you. I mean, I think that it's very hard. It only takes one time, right? Especially if you're not into somebody. Like, she was already not feeling him, and she was trying, and all you need is that one little excuse when you already got the ick. She looked like she had the ick. She was like, oh, she had that ick. And she was just like, okay, I'm going to try.
Love Island.
All you have to do is just not do something that she was expecting you to do, and it was done. And you're right. Like, sometimes some women, and everybody's different, and that's where you have to kind of read the situation. He's like, oh, no, I'm totally into you. Watch. And he's like manhandling her. And it's just like, oh, no, don't do that, because that's just not.
But like you said, some women like that. Like, some women like to be like wrapped up and like, you know, feel like they're small and like that whole thing. Like, some people like that. So
yeah, and I think that this is
where that shouldn't be your go-to.
Yeah, it definitely should not be the first thing that you do. And then obviously, she was just like, no, it's okay. I think after the first no, it wasn't like the time to try it again. And I think that that's where he realized. It was just
I agree. I think after the point where he tries to go in and you fix it, which shouldn't really have even happened in the first place. I think you should be like, okay, obviously there's misunderstanding here. Let's sit down and talk. You should have just moved on from that and sat down and talked and not tried to continue to have this kiss or whatever. Absolutely. After the first time where you try to pull her back in and you realize that that's not working, you shouldn't have tried to do it again. And from what we know about Claire, we know that she has had, from what she said herself, she's had very troublesome relationships. And so I'm not going to assume to know everything that happened with that, but that also, I mean, is valid. You know, if that's something that immediately you're just like, ugh, and that's a red flag for you, then let him go. But I do think the communication was very, very bad all around.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing was really like after the fact that, you know, they were going to get ready and she just didn't show up. And that's where it was just like, oh, that's savage. Because at this point, look, I get it. She's working toward, you know, mending all of these things and fixing her triggers and what's personally, you know, what she feels she needs to get over personally. But I also feel like she has a responsibility to let these men go in a respectable way. I personally, just like some people have mentioned in the chats, I don't think that this was a good time to paint Zach as an aggressor. You know, that like, yes, it was just a very bad moment, and it was a little icky and it was uncomfortable to watch, but it looked like he was just trying to mend something that he didn't know. He very much looked clueless. Like, no, I do like you. Watch. You know, it was that's how I felt, and it painted a more aggressive tone to him. And I think that Claire needed to at least personally let him know that that is what she got, or have that conversation, not just like Chris Harrison come in and say, sorry, buddy, she's not here, therefore you're gone. You know?
Yeah, I do think there should have been more to that conversation. There should have been more before he's just gone completely off of national television. I think it should have, it was a really good opportunity for The Bachelor to talk about, you know, consent and to talk about, you know, different people's boundaries. And they could have literally sat down and been like, you know, at this moment, this is when I felt very uncomfortable, and what we could have been better in communication. I could have been better at communication, but I didn't like that you did this. And then I feel like that could have been an adult conversation. And I feel like Zach could have, you know, said his piece and said, you know, I misread, I apologize, move on. And instead they just were like, okay, goodbye. And I don't know. I felt like it could have been a really good opportunity for them to talk about like consent and what that means for people. But I don't know. It was.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that it's important for people to see how that sort of healthy conversation can take place, because you know, a lot of people don't know how to have that sort of conversation. Like, even you know, in 2020, even in like their later stages in life. Like, it's not something that everyone knows how to do until, like, no one knows what anything is until you see it. So
absolutely. I want to say, Candace says, Claire has a right to feel how she feels. That's valid. But I agree that it was miscommunication. I don't like him being painted as an abuser just because she was triggered. And that, I think, is key, is the fact that she did say that she was triggered. There were things that she didn't like. And I also feel that that should have been communicated, because we live in a very sensitive time right now. I don't want to say, like, I'm all okay with what Zach did, but we also had to take into consideration that these men have been in quarantine and we have been going through a pandemic, and right now we don't know how to deal with other people. Can you just imagine also just being away from so many people and being quarantined to having to go back into a relationship? Physical touch, like knowing how to maneuver if you haven't dated in a while. If you like, there's still very, and I think it shows in this season that there's just kind of like this awkwardness of just like, how do I talk to these people? How do I even date anymore? I don't even know. Like,
There
I
is.
went on a date with a guy for the first time after like not dating for probably like 2 months, and he put his hand on my knee, and like my entire body was like, so I can only imagine like quarantining for weeks and then sequestering and then quarantining again. And like now you try to have a one-on-one, like it's probably like, like, don't touch me.
Yeah. So that was just uncomfortable. And I feel like a really missed opportunity on their part to clarify that, if you will. And
so she was saying that, you know, ultimately she's working. She said she's done all of this work on trying to heal her trauma. Obviously, like, she's doing the work, and that's amazing. And I mean, not that we all know, but I feel that in these times, everybody goes through their own healing of some sort, you know? And so that's where I think the fact that she didn't want to discuss it, because she says, and I don't want to discuss this right now, so just like send in Chris and tell him to go away. I don't think that that was healthy either, you know? And so it's just, it was weird. She bounces, he's gone. Sorry, everybody sees it. Now they're like,
one thing I wanted to mention is just like, not that I'm too concerned with, like, because I don't obviously know him, but you have to like think about what he now is going to go forward with.
Absolutely.
Like, he's probably going to be micro analyzing everything he does when he's on a date with someone or when he's interacting with someone, because what he probably saw is just like some miscommunication is like gigantic enough for her to not only send him home, but to send him home without even wanting to have a conversation.
To speak to him. Mm-hmm.
So I can only, like, just seeing him ride off in that limo or whatever they are in, alone, like, I'm just thinking, like, he's probably going to move forward in, like, future relationships being, like, overly cautious and, like, overly guarded because of this. And that's
I think it literally just needed to be a conversation where you sit down and say, you know, because of this, I don't feel comfortable moving forward with you. And we literally just like, it's just someone who has had a background, especially in something like that and something that's traumatic like that. And that was for her, that was the warning sign to be done with that. Yeah. Anyways, I
want to go and talk about T-Hat says she was triggered. And this happens with women who have gone through the trauma. I can't believe y'all are blaming Claire for this. And I'm not blaming anybody. I don't think anybody here is blaming Claire for what she's going through. What I think is very important is to also be able to talk about that, that trauma in a more responsible way, and not paint him as the super soul aggressor, you know, and that's the thing. You can be traumatized, and people have gone through that. but knowing that that is their experience and being able to not blame it solely on another person for triggering you. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's because I'm not blaming Claire at all for doing that. What we're saying is that it, like, especially on a national platform, when this man has to go and face the world that has just seen him get turned down like this and make it seem like he was the aggressor when it was in fact that she was triggered. They're two very different things.
I think what we're trying to say is that this is a topic that merits having a like in-depth conversation over, and it was glossed over within less than 5 minutes. And that's the problem here, is that there was no conversation about it whatsoever, or like what the intent was, what the, you know, what the line crossed was, or anything. It was just being sent home. And I think that both things can be simultaneously true. And the problem was that there was no conversation about it. And like we've said, it was such a missed opportunity for them to talk about that and to be a teaching moment for people that are watching, and a teaching moment for everybody involved in that. And it just wasn't. So
JJ says both can be true. Intent was not to harm, and then she could also feel triggered and feel uncomfortable. But that conversation.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think an important thing to just know in this situation and to carry on in life is that when you meet someone that you don't know their background, you don't know about the things that trigger them. You don't know about like their past hardships. You don't know about anything that might be like you have to kind of tiptoe through a minefield with. Like, you don't know that. So you can only really do your best. And then it's up to both people in the situation to communicate should a situation arise. But I also think it's important to note that just because there's friction in any sort of communication doesn't mean that either party are wrong. It's just that they might not be able to coexist. So two people can have an interaction that doesn't go positively, and that doesn't mean that one person is in the wrong and you have to choose sides. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And to clarify, like, he should not have grabbed her in that way after she is, you know, walking away and saying, like, I don't want to do this right now. I just want to go to a dinner.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened. And I think we've said that already. So anyways, I think we move on with this.
So going forward, and the very last and kind of where we end things was the last date, which was the comedic roasting of people, aka Dale, because it seemed like everybody was just on this Dale roast, and it looked like Claire had a really hard time accepting that people were roasting Dale. And it seems that some guys wanted to roast Dale in hopes that Claire would get the picture and kind of ask him those questions as to why they're roasting him. And it seems like it kind of backfired. What do y'all think?
It just shows you that, like, the little knowledge that men have about women. It just, like, that is what was so clear to me. Like, if someone clearly likes someone and you're talking shit about them, women tend to get more defensive of that person. Men tend to be more like, like, you know, people don't like this person. Like, should I not like this person? Women, like, are usually set in their ways. Like, oh, I like him. I don't dare talk about my man. Like, that's why you see, like, those memes of, like, the wrong order came on a date for a boyfriend, and the boyfriend's just like, no, it's fine, I'll eat this too. And the girlfriend's like, sorry, waiter. No, you're not gonna give my boyfriend the wrong order. Like, women get defensive of the men.
That's literally me and Ovi. He'll be like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not what you ordered. Like, we're not paying for that. You didn't order that.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, I feel like I was watching it in slow motion and just watching my last relationship and being like, they're really shooting themselves in the foot, especially with how well Dale was taking it. Like, Dale is so easy to fall for. It's not even a joke. Like, I completely understand. Like, I feel like I need to go to therapy because I see a little bit too much of myself in Claire. And it's
God.
scary, it's nauseating, but just the way she was getting defensive of him, I was almost getting defensive of Dale. Like, excuse you, don't you dare talk about him. And like, he was handling it so well. Meanwhile, if someone's up there roasting me, I would have been like, okay, but what about you? You were like really gassy last night, so don't talk. Like, okay.
I think it's because he knows that he is literally like miles ahead of everybody else. And he's just like, you know what? Y'all are just jealous. Like,
yeah. And it showed because she said it. She was like, but this is what was really laughable, I think, in some sense, because she said, you can't hate on love. I'm like, excuse me.
But it's also like
she literally says, like, talk about my fiance. Like,
I caught that too, and I was just like, oh, so he's your fiance now. Okay. This is getting, he is now the fiance. So the idea was, so now these guys are upset because they're like, now they're doing the one-on-ones, at the end, and she's asking them, and I think this is a valid question, like, why?
She's crazy.
Okay, she's a little much in talking about him, but did they not deserve that? Because if you're gonna spend your whole roast, spend the whole roast talking about somebody, expect that she's gonna ask you why you're talking about him.
That's not what she asked, though. Okay, do you guys watch The Office?
Yes.
Remember when Roy was about to punch Jim and Dwight like sprayed him with the pepper spray, and then Angela went around the next day and was like, so what exactly happened? I wasn't there. That Dwight, he saved the day. Tell me about it. That is exactly what Claire was doing. She was fishing for ways that she could confirm her relationship with, like, she kept asking about, so he said he was the front runner?
She was like excited because I feel like this is like a high school thing, and she heard that like he was talking about her in the locker room and was like saying that like he liked her a lot. She was like, wait, so can you tell me more about like what he said about me? That he likes me? Like, that was like affirmation for her that he still felt the same way about her. Yeah. And the other guys, there were literally guys that were like, yeah, this is like, I said this or whatever. I don't want to talk about Dell anymore though. Like, I'm here for you. Like, I'm so excited to talk to you. And she was just like, no, but like, we need to go back to that because like, I need to know.
I need to say that I'm totally this person. I'm not going to lie, because I think this is the perfect, I need closure moment. Like usually when I talk to my husband and he wants to get off a situation, he'll just say, or a topic, he'll be like, yeah, okay, but let's not talk about that anymore because I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on. And I was like, yeah, but I want to know exactly what happened, because I feel like I deserve to know. And so she took it, you're right, she took it a little bit too much, but hey, that it backfired. They wanted for the attention to come off of Dale by putting the attention on Dale. It was very awkward.
It definitely backfired. Anyways, it doesn't seem like there were any productive conversations that happened at all, because then when she comes back after she's had her conversations with all of these guys, I called it. I looked at Ovi and I was like, she's not going to give any of them a rose. I don't think she really cared about any of those conversations. And she was like, I just need to sleep on it. I'm not going to get it. And I was like, damn it. Like, it's over now.
The literally biggest slap in the face for any of those guys, for you not to give it to anybody. That means nobody was worthy. At least you give it to one guy. It's like, okay, he's the most worthy. But by not giving it to anybody, you're just saying nobody's worthy.
She literally could not come up with a reason enough that she liked any of them at all. Like, she didn't even give it to like the hottest guy there. She was just like, you know what? I don't care.
She said, screw all of y'all. Obviously the guys are pissed. Someone even says, I forgot who it was, says we should just walk out because
it was the guy with the tattoos. tattoo guy. I felt like I just saw him for the first time. He's cute. I didn't even know where he came from.
Look, we went from 31 guys to 18, and we still don't know anything about these guys except for like maybe 5 or 6, which again, I feel really bad for because I would love to see them on a Tayshia season because
instead.
So we'll end with this with the last, kind of rounding it out. What we expect for next week. Obviously, she gave nobody the rose. The guys are about ready to walk the hell out. We see Tayshia walking out of this pool, looking all scrumptious dumptious and in her own rights. Are we going to see new guys? Are we going to see old guys? What are we expecting?
For their sake, it makes me sad that this is the season that they got. But for Tayshia's sake, she deserves all new guys that didn't have anything to do with any of this mess. Like, she needs her own guys. Like, maybe bring some of these guys back to Paradise or do whatever you want. But, like, Tayshia needs all new guys that haven't had anything to do with Claire's season because it was a train wreck. So, that's my thought.
Tayshia deserves, let's see, A-list celebrity. Tayshia deserves Fortune 500 CEOs. Tayshia deserves athletes. Tayshia deserves her pick of the litter. I mean, she had to deal with Colton. Let's not forget. She was in Paradise. I did love John Paul Jones, but she was when she should have been preparing to be the Bachelorette the first time. I mean, I did love Hannah B's season, but I would have much rather seen Tayshia. And then she was passed over again for Claire, who, her entire allure is that she's this like wild card, and then here she goes showing how wild she actually is. So, Tayshia deserves the world, and I really hope they give it to her. I hope they give her the solar system. Like, I adore her.
I'm hoping that she really does get, as we can see, Kemi, yes, Tayshia, High Five family member. Yeah, she's part of the Tayshia Hive. No, she is the founder of the Tayshia Hive. Kemi is,
yes.
So you can request all fan mail could go to her and whatnot. But I think that, I do think that they're going to keep some of these guys. It would be ridiculous not to, because, I mean, these men are pissed. And I don't see them going, I mean, are we going through a whole new list? I mean, they had to have new people because obviously she got rid of half of the cast. So there has to be at least another 15 or so guys.
They're going to keep some of them, I think. They are. I hope that
none of them are going to end up with Tayshia, because if I was Tayshia, the first question that I would ask is, so you came here for Claire, what is it that you know and like about me?
Yeah,
but we see this, like, right? You've seen it, Hannah. We've seen it on Caitlyn's season. Like, she was not the original Bachelorette. There were 2 guys were fighting for 2 Bachelorettes.
She ended up with the guy who was like, right out the gate. He literally right out the limo was like, I came here for you, like specifically you. She ended up with that guy. She's not with him now, but they were engaged for like 2 or 3 years. She picked the guy that was like,
that was Sean, right?
Huh?
That was Sean?
Yeah, it was Sean.
Yeah, he was kind of cute.
He was super cute. And he literally was like, I want it to be you. He paid Britt no mind. He literally went straight to Caitlyn, and she picked him. So
true.
I'm very excited to see. Hey, Drew.
So, Drew, those Miller boys from Minority Report, we love you, and Canada and BB Canada, we love you. Thank you for your support. But go ahead.
I'm excited to see Tayshia's personality come through in this, because I feel like on Colton's season, she was kind of Colton's season focused, even though she was Final Four, SB, focused a lot on not really Cassie, but they focused a lot on Hannah G, Demi, and Hannah Brown. They focused a lot on them, and we didn't get to see a lot of the personality of even Cassie. but more importantly, not Tayshia. So I'm excited to see, her personality be cemented in television history because I see a lot of her Instagram stories, and honestly, I can never see enough.
Absolutely. I agree with all those things. And so we await for next week where we shall see just how Claire exactly broke the Bachelorette. We'll still try to figure this one out, but I do believe him in saying that it has been probably the most dramatic Bachelorette season for quite some time, since a while from now. So we thank you. Note that for those of you who are just right now either tuning in, this is your first time tuning in to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree, click like, subscribe, click receive those notifications. Please comment below. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you don't like seeing. Like, any and all comments are great. Also, it helps with the algorithm. So if you haven't liked this, please like it and share it with people who you know, and they don't watch The Bachelorette. You never know. And then tomorrow we will be doing our very last episode, the finale of Big Brother, which yay!
It's ending. A whole other shit show in and of itself.
We've been very, I don't know, this 2020 for us in recapping, I don't know what the hell came over us, but it's been a trying time for all of us. So thank you.
It's been a trip, but we'll leave that for tomorrow. So.
Yes, please follow us on all of our IGs, Twitter, handles, everything, anything. Ladies, is there anything else that you would all like to say? Last and final comments?
No. So I just posted a new video to my YouTube channel, Kemi Fakunle, a Pretty Little Thing haul, and next week I will be posting my Mexico vlog. We had the most amazing time, the most amazing time ever. And one exciting thing is that a lot of these girls I had never even met before. I had only met Caro in person, and then the other 3 girls I had never met. But now, we're all so close. We talk every minute of every day. So you'll see all of that in the vlog. And a lot of exciting. So
that's exciting. So yes, thank you all for joining us, and we love you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.